Okay, and welcome along to the video, how to plan your project. It's titled Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls. If you don't know the reference, you'll find out in a second. But before we start, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you do find it useful, my favorite metric is to share it with your friends. So like and subscribe, because I'm trying to grow the channel, play the algorithm, etc. But as I said, my main metric, if you do find this useful, do please share this video with your friends. Okay, so within project management, there's a couple of different project management systems. And the first one, the most commonly used one, is called Waterfall Project Management. Now, you may wonder why I've broken it down to 15 weeks for project management. It's just if you do a working week, which is roughly 4 hours, you do that for 15 weeks, that's 600 hours, and 600 hours is usually a 60 credit project, which is what most postgraduate taught projects are. So if this isn't yours, please double check your guidelines, etc. Look at the hours you think you'll need and adjust it accordingly. The hours don't really matter. It's just to really help my particular students. But if you're not one of my students, you can take the benefit of this from yourself. So within the Waterfall project, first of all, you look at your topic. That might take you about a week to choose to really narrow it down and get that focus. Remember how to focus your topic. We've got videos on that earlier in the channel. You might look at your literature review to once again look at what else has been done on that. You'll then write your methodology, taking once again, these are just suggested timeframes. It's not up to you. You might take longer, you might take short, you might be very clear, clued up with your methodology. You might take a lot less. Your literature review might need to be a lot longer, etc. These are just suggested timings, but suit your timings to yourself. You then look at your data collection. Might take you about 2 weeks, or whether that's interviews, focus groups, questionnaires, etc. And then you can start analyzing. Now you can actually, there's a bit of an overlap there. You can start analyzing your data just as it's coming in. So once again, once you've got a fair few of your questionnaires in, you can start to analyze it. Or if you've started to do a few interviews and you've still got a few more, you can start to decode the interviews, etc. And then you can write your findings. Once again, might take you less, might take you more. And then you write your conclusion of your work. Now, this is the interesting one that a lot of students don't know, but this is my one of my first main hints and tips. Okay, this is the last thing you should write in your project. So when you're writing a project, a dissertation, a thesis, whatever it's called, the last thing you should actually write is your introduction. Okay, people always do the introduction first, but one of the key elements, and once again we talked about this in previous videos, one of the key elements we're looking at is, did you do what you set out to do? Well, it's actually much easier to write what you set out to do at the end once you've already done it. So one of my little tips there is to write your introduction last. Okay, so that becomes last, you hand it in week 15. So that's a nice, what we call waterfall flow of a project. Don't go chasing waterfalls, please. However, we've got this other system called Agile Project Management, which is a bit, once again, I'm very quickly skimming over this. This could be a whole module, okay? But I'm just going to very quickly jump over some of the key elements and how it might help you in creating your project, thesis, dissertation, whatever you're calling it. Okay, so first of all, you start off deciding your topic. You've got a week, you narrow down your topic. Then you just do about a week's worth of literature review to look at the whole element, the whole area as a whole. Then you might actually start to decide your methodology. So have a little think about what methodology you're going to do, and then go back and redefine your topic. So you've thought about your main topic, you've done a bit of a literature review to make sure the literature exists, etc. And then start thinking about your methodology, and then go back to the beginning and start to think about your topic again. Redefine it. Does it need focusing? Does it need being more concise? Then you might do the literature review. Also with the literature review, you're actually, what I would suggest here is, once you've now thought about your methodology, in my literature review now, I'm actually going to reuse literature that uses the methodology that I use. So if I want to investigate something using focus groups, in my literature review, I might try and use a lot of literature that also used focus groups. So not only did they look at what I'm looking at, they looked at how I'm going to look at it. So therefore, my literature is going to be useful in my methodology later on as well. Then I can do my methodology. Notice it's now a bit shorter because I'm being a bit more concise with how I've done my literature review. Still 3 weeks for my data collection. Nothing you can do will ever make that shorter. It takes as long as it takes. Then I do a bit of my findings. Now, once again, within a project, a thesis, a dissertation, whatever, part of what you're doing is looking at bringing out new knowledge. So do a bit of your findings, start to understand it, and then go back and look at your literature review. and relook at literature. Because if you're going to say this is new, it might not be new. You might not have just done that literature search, okay? Because there is a point in an assignment, in any assignment, where you have to stop doing the research and you have to start doing it. So that means if you're going to state something is new and different, you kind of need to just go back and double check on how you know it was new and relevant. Then you can finish off your findings stating, right, what you found, how it was useful, is it new, how it's useful for the company, etc. Then you can do your conclusion. And as always, you do your introduction last to make sure that what you say you're going to claim you know is right because you've already found it out. Okay? So that's my video on waterfall project management. So don't go chasing waterfalls. Try and use a bit more of an agile project management approach. As I said before, I'm trying to grow the channel, so please do me a solid. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you think it's going to be more. And there's going to be loads of more little videos about your project. And my key one is please do share this video if you found it useful. Send it to your friends, send it to your colleagues, your classmates, etc. If you find it useful, hopefully they will, and it'll help everyone out. Thanks very much for your time, guys.